Appreciate it. Thank everybody for being here. I think it's already been said. I want to thank Pat and John again for opening up their home. They do this frequently for candidates. They're more than generous with their home and their time. So again, we appreciate that. Before I get started, I want to thank a few other folks. Jamie is my campaign manager, Jamie Bannicky. Doug is there taking pictures. Doug Humlin, he's a neighbor of mine over on Dixon. There's others here, too many to mention, but you know, there's...
Where's Kathy Krenz?
Where's Kathy?
Kathy!
Kathy's in the back.
And Noah's a big cheerleader.
Yes, my son Noah. There's some new people that I've gotten to know. Beth Riley being one of them. She's helped me with social media and using virtual assistants to help manage my time. There's just a lot of people. This is a group effort. This isn't just one person running and trying to make it happen. In fact, it shouldn't be the way it is. Some of you I've met for the first time. Some of you I've met for the first time tonight. And others I've known for a long time. In fact, the Sandvigs are here. I've known Ray Lynn's parents and my parents knew each other, you know, going back 50, 60 years ago. And Ray Lynn comes from a very good family, and you know, our parents knew each other way back in the day from South Minneapolis. So actually I wanted to start with a story tonight about good families. In fact, I want to tell you a story about a good family that had 3 siblings that lived together. And they grew up, and this family was just a very good family and raised these kids to be the best that they could be. But over time, the 2 older siblings started to stray, and they started to get into trouble. And the younger sibling always kind of looked at them and kind of admired them, but at the same time was a little suspicious, kind of like what Scott Jensen was talking about. And these older siblings were getting into more and more trouble and starting to stray from the values that the family had taught them. One night, the 2 older brothers come by in a car, and the younger brother says, boy, these guys are inebriated, they're drunk, they're going to get in trouble. And they said, hey, do you want to come in and go for a ride? And that younger sibling said, I have a choice. I either get in this car and go with them and it's going to end badly, or I'm going to stay behind in the safety of the home and I'm going to, you know, be safe. And that story illustrates basically what's happening with this dynamic with Bloomington and Minneapolis and St. Paul. In that analogy, the 2 older siblings are Minneapolis and St. Paul. They are going on a pathway of disaster. They are on the pathway to Portland, Oregon. And we're sitting here trying to decide whether we want to get in the car with them. Well, guess what? We don't. So that's an illustration of how important it is to be faithful to your values. And Bloomington's really at a crossroads. Do we go the way of Minneapolis, or do we go our own chart our own path and really become the crown jewel of the Midwest? And that is the choice that we have. That is the choice that you have as voters this fall. Whether you're going to vote for a mayor who's either going to take you more and more in the pathway of Minneapolis, or somebody like myself who's going to say no, we'll certainly cooperate with Minneapolis and other entities like the Met Council and Hennepin County where we can, but at the end of the day, we're going to do what's right for Bloomington. This is a historic choice for Bloomington. It's a historic choice that we've not had in a long time. I sat with a former mayor here recently. He said that many times in the past, Bloomington has basically not had a real choice for mayor. It's that mayor's been groomed to either succeed a current mayor, or it's been appointed, and it's been a long time since Bloomington has had such a clear, distinct choice for mayor like they do this year. What is my platform? Well, it's familiar themes to you because you're a friendly crowd, but one of them is fiscal responsibility. We see a city that, like Scott Jensen said, the state has done, increasing their budget. Our city has increased their budget over the last 5 to 10 years, dramatically, and they want to do so even more going forward. We need to really look at different ways of doing things and find efficiencies first before we keep coming back, hat in hand, to the taxpayer, saying pony up another 9 to 10% every single year on a compounded basis for the next decade. It's unsustainable. If we keep on this path, I think that within 3 to 5 years, Bloomington's going to be unaffordable for probably 20 to 30, maybe 40% of the residents. And we just can't let that happen. Second thing is to really be a voice for the residents. It's a residents first approach. So we see examples, for example, of the Met Council giving Bloomington direction on what they should be doing. Putting in multifamily housing, apartment buildings, putting in thousands of units, bringing in people from different parts of the city into Bloomington faster than we can absorb them. We don't have the schools for it, we don't have the infrastructure for it, and we really need to slow down and really absorb people into our community before we keep bringing on more. But that's at the direction of the Met Council. That is not what the city